moving on to the 94 through '04 Mustang. As we already established, throughout the 80s, the Fox body was the street demon that everybody had to have. Thanks to the super lightweight, the 5.0 was the car to beat. Chevrolet tried with both the Z28 and the IROC Z, and when those weren't enough, they pulled out all the stops and transplanted the LT1 from the Corvette into their brand new 4th gen. Ford was late to the party, but in '94 they unveiled their new pony car. Let's take a look.
And it sucked. They basically took the old 5.0 GT and reskinned it. It came with a more modern interior, but the driveline was the same old 225 horsepower 5.0. Oh wait, now it was rated at 215 horsepower to make the upcoming turd look good. It didn't work. There are only so many ways I can say it. The 4.6 liter was terrible. That dick came flying at Ford guys in '96 and you just had to bite the pillow and take it. It's reliable, and that's about the only good thing you can say about it. Provided the oil filter adapter didn't leak water into the oil and the timing chain guides are intact, the motor will last longer than the car. It was backed by either a 4R70W or the T45. Both are solid. The T45 clutch will make you beg for mercy in traffic. It's stiffer than a glass of Jack Daniels. Also available in '96 was the 4.6 liter dual overhead cam rated at 305 horsepower. Whoa! That's more like it. At least that motor wasn't made for a Lincoln. Wait, it was? Yep, that motor was branded an Intech and was unveiled in the 1993 Lincoln Mark 8, although it was slightly detuned at 280 horsepower. The 305 horsepower number is deceptive because it hides all of its power above 3,500 RPM. I call this motor the torqueless wonder. You hear the engine winding, but not a damn thing is happening. It's faster than the GT by a full second, but it still just barely matches the Marrow. 410 gears are a requirement to get this fucker moving. In 1998, there was a minor refresh that added 10 horsepower to the 4.6 liter, as well as modifying the interior a bit. The cup holder is a worthless piece of shit. It's in the way of the shifter, and you'll always knock your drink over when you go to 2nd or 4th gear. And what the shit? Where the fuck did the clock go? Where the fuck did the clock go? It was the coolest thing about the old dash and they just took it away. That just pisses me right off. '99 was the real update to the car. The heads were upgraded to produce a whopping 260 horsepower. With the lighter weight, they can finally beat the LT1. Psst. Psst. Chevrolet stopped using the LT1 2 years ago. It's the LS1 now. Shit. 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 What does it run in the quarter mile? Oh, it's capable of 12s at 108. Ours runs low 14s at 101. Fuck! At least ours doesn't look like an overgrown catfish. Hey, we still have the Cobra though. It's rated at 320 horsepower this year. Yeah, about that. They fucked that one up too. The heads and tune needed work, so the extra 15 horsepower just wasn't there. It was actually slower than the previous Cobra. They revised it in '01, but it was still a few tenths behind the LS1. Also in '01, the T45 was replaced by the TR3650. Typically when you replace something, it's expected to, be better than the last one. Not the case here. It's beyond bad. The synchros might as well be made of glass. Rebuilds are in the 500 range for parts and labor. There were a couple of special edition Mustangs that came out, the Mach 1 and the Bullet. They both got fancy seats and retro gauges. The Mach got a fancy shaker hood and the Bullet got a cool new intake. The Bullet performance was more or less the same. It gained 5 horsepower. The Mach 1, on the other hand, was rated at 305 horsepower, but this is well known to be bullshit. The actual rating was more like 330. Combined with a better rear end gears, it could match most LS1 cars. But boy, will the GM guys ever dispute that. In '03, Ford finally said enough and slapped a big damn supercharger on top of the already massive 4.6 liter. It cranked out an underrated 390 horsepower, but the actual number was anywhere between 425 and 450. Since GM bitched out and stopped making the F-body in '02, Ford had to take it to the Corvette. In bone stock condition, there are very few cars that could best the Cobra. It's why they called it the Terminator. For those of you looking at the V6 cars, I recommend you get them cheap. They're plagued by head gasket and rod bearing failure, they're severely underpowered, and they get worse gas mileage than the V8. The 99 refresh on that motor was a little bit better, but head gaskets are still very common. The interiors on all of these cars suffer from the same issues, notably the windows that never work and the door pull that rips clean off in your hand. The 94 through 98 cars had seriously defective odometers that are easy to repair, so take mileage with a big fat grain of salt. You may call this nitpicking, but the shifter is way too far forward. I feel like I need to lean just to reach it, and then the clutch pedal is so stiff I'm being pushed back. It's just annoying.
So if you're looking for a daily driver, the Mustang is a good one, provided you stick with the automatic or you have a really strong left leg for the stick. Now if you're looking for a stoplight warrior or a quarter-mile monster, just move on. Better set aside $5 grand for a supercharger, because these things are slugs.